some more fighting. We're gonna talk about boxing. Yeah, let's get it, man. Ain't no boxing on tonight. We're gonna talk about UFC 219. Then we'll talk about some boxing news. Whatever y'all want to talk about, we can do on this side, the real side. Yeah. Do 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 do. Want to know what you guys thought? As you come in, make sure you smash the like button. UFC 219. We're gonna talk some boxing. We're gonna talk everything, man. Yeah. Let's get it. YouTube being slow as usual. Taking forever to notify people. Hey, that Khabib Nurmagomedov, definitely a scary matchup for Conor. Because Conor, you see what happened when he fought Chad Mendes, a wrestler. On the ground, he was. I'm sorry, I was actually impressed that Conor McGregor got up and stopped Mendes after that. And that was Mendes on a late replacement. Because I think Jose Aldo pulled out of the fight. Khabib, if he gets you to that mat, he's relentless and he's strong. So definitely, yeah, man. I gotta see Khabib versus Conor or Tony Ferguson. It only makes sense.
From moment to moment.
I mean, in my opinion.
And now,
I want to talk about this main event, UFC. I just need people to join. Oh, I didn't realize how late it is. That's why it's kind of slow. It's kind of late on my end. I should have did this maybe. I didn't realize the time. Wow. Shams. Yet I agree with your scorecard. You could honestly, I don't know what. See, listen. If you come to my channel, expect that real. I always give you guys what I really feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, I don't listen to other people's videos or tweets on Twitter and then just start formula. I give you what I seen. And I seen people on Twitter and stuff acting like, oh yeah, that was super close. I didn't see all that. I thought it was competitive enough, but it was easy to tell who was inflicting the most damage and who was winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? And people get confused the two. People, oh, but Cyborg is a man and she failed to use Sada. Like, I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the fight I seen tonight. And the fight I seen tonight, maybe give round 2 to Holly Holm. Maybe even pitch the shutout 5-0. I just didn't see Holly Holm doing enough. Listen. They both could have did certain things different. Let's not get that twisted. But at the end of the day, if you win, it don't really matter what you could have did different because you can implement that in your next fight. You know what I mean? But to me, Chris Cyborg, she was on her Gennady Golovkin shit, where she was adding a constant pressure, ring or cutting the cage, making the cage real small, and Holly Holm was trying to roll out and stuff. And you seen Holly Holm had the same game plan to me as when she fought Ronda Rousey. Same MO. Take those stands and do those karate keys. And then throw strikes and then try to back up your opponent. Use your legs to create space. You know what I mean? But the difference is Chris Cyborg is stronger than Ronda Rousey and she's a better stand-up fighter than Ronda Rousey. So it didn't work the same. She said, Holly Holm says her heart's not in boxing anymore. So that's not gonna happen. She said she don't want to come back to fight Katie Taylor. I don't know about now after this, but before, she recently did an interview and said that. Oh, it's evident why Ronda Rousey avoided Cyborg. And see, this is the thing. Kudos to Holly Holm. That's a world-class boxer we're talking about. and a high-level, experienced MMA fighter with a better resume than Chris Cyborg. And she, in my opinion, lost pretty much every round, maybe give her one round. Ronda Rousey wouldn't have survived like that because Ronda Rousey doesn't have the finesse that Holly Holm has as a boxer to get on her toes, circle around, create space, distance, take some stands to back up Chris Cyborg. You know what I'm saying? Ronda Rousey don't got a stand-up game like that. Yeah. If Eddie Hearn puts up enough money. Shit, is he putting enough money for Wilder Joshua? Because, I mean, no disrespect to the women's fighting, but it's not as big as men's. And Joshua and Wilder, the 50-50, seems to be a big deal. So, I mean, how much money is he really going to put up for that? And besides that, it's not likely because Holly Holm, to my knowledge, is in a UFC contract. You know what I mean? So it's not just like Conor McGregor happens to be the biggest star in the UFC. So they maybe made an exception to let him out of the contract or let him partake in a boxing event. They're not doing that with just any fighter, especially when they're under contract. Conor has some pull because if he's not happy, if he's not content, then the UFC will lose a lot of money. Yeah, Holly Holm survived. She's a warrior, legend in the sport. I'm just telling you what I've seen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I've seen. And I didn't see it like some people had it mad close. I thought it was competitive enough to the point where you're not like, you know what I mean, falling asleep because it's super one-sided. But it was really easy to see who was, who was kind of getting the better of the exchanges, who was working more of a 5-minute round. Those things were easy for me to diagnose. Like I didn't see, I mean, I don't know. Some of y'all watch MMA and watch boxing, and I'm like, what do y'all watch? I can't, like, okay, if you look at the stats, in every single round, I believe Chris Cyborg outlanded Holly Holm, right? So from a numerical point of view, she had landed more. From a physicality point of view, it looked like her punches, her strikes, her kicks, her knees to the abs had more effect than what Holly Holm was doing. And she worked, she pressured and cut the cage and worked more of the round, like more minutes of the round. So AKA she's more effective. I mean, look at this post fight. Not just about the eye test, but look, she had a bloody nose, but she looked regular. Holly Holm, her eyes started to swell. She looked like she lost by this facial. This is before they announced it. You see Bruce Buffer got the mic in his hand. This is before they announced it. And you see the swelling and shit. She was getting hurt. I think it was at the end of round 3, round 4, something like that. She got caught, got staggered a little bit. So it was a solid fight, solid chess match. But to me, it was easy to determine the victor. Straight up. I mean, you can say Holly Holm held her own. She's a warrior. I don't have a problem with any of that. None of that bothers me. That's all stand-up shit. Khabib, that surprised me that Barboza, a good striker, had no, like, he didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when it got to the mat, it was really bad for him. So I was impressed with Khabib Nurmagomedov, that performance. He got to fight Conor McGregor or he got to fight Tony Ferguson. Those are really the only fights that really make sense. You already beat Michael Johnson's of the world. You just beat Barboza. You know what I'm saying? Khabib was not playing. And he made weight. It looked like his conditioning was there. Yeah, so either El Cucuy or the Notorious. I mean, Barboza got the shit beat out of him at the end of round 1. And that's what really set the tone for the rest. It was only a 3-rounder, I believe. So, yeah, round 1, he was done for. He like in round 2, when he came back and he was circling, his legs looked funny style. Like, looked like he was kind of just off emotion. Like Bradley, when Timothy Bradley fought Ruzin, it looked like he was just going off the motions and fumes. So he really, Khabib really did a number on him in that round 1. Clarissa Shields and Hammer. Lady Hammer, that's good. Looking shaky, baby. I really expected more from UFC 219. I mean, I can't complain. It's the end of the year card. It's not that Chris Cyborg or Holm didn't fight their ass off. So, you know what I mean? I can't complain in that. I just expected more from the card. But like I said, there was no boxing on. I didn't pay for the fight, so I just watched it. So, you know what I mean? I can't complain too much. It was cool. It was solid. But Chris Cyborg, I don't really know who she's going to even fight next. Yeah, Conor's tripping talking about he wants to fight in Russia. Okay, fight Khabib in Russia. If that's how you feel. That's the only fight that makes sense in Russia. It don't make sense to fight Tony Ferguson in Russia. My thoughts on Khabib, I just said it, but maybe you just came into the live stream. I mean, he looked excellent. He dominated. He had mat control when he had Barboza on the ground. I mean, you have to keep in mind, this was supposed to be a stiff step up in class, and then really Khabib made it look like his other fights. Some people were I seen some people even saying like, oh, it looks like Barboza's throwing the fight. So, I mean, if he's doing the number on his opponent like that, to the point where people said the fight's fixed and he threw the fight, then he did his thing. Yeah, and he missed weight and then ain't been active. So to come back and have a performance like that, yeah, he definitely looked good, man. Khabib versus Conor is interesting because I seen Khabib still get hit with some shots. His stand-up is not. Conor's stand-up's better. You know what I mean? So it'll be, and Conor's strong, and Conor rehydrates to whatever the fuck he rehydrates, 170 or whatever. He's a big dude. So the thing is, if Khabib gets him on, if he gets Conor to the ground, we know who has the advantage there, or who should have the advantage. But standing up, Conor has the advantage. Southpaw, faster hands, better striking. So, you know what I mean? It's a good fight stylistically. Oh, that's a good point. Someone said Conor has no cardio. That's another thing. That wouldn't be good. Like I said, if you watch the Conor McGregor versus a late replacement, Chad Mendes took a lot of energy in round one, keeping Conor on the mat. And Conor, I think, had blood coming from his scalp or something. And he was still able to muster up enough energy to stop Chad Mendes. But Khabib, he's a different level of pressure. He's gonna stay on top of you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Conor can't have those stamina lapses. Yeah, I feel like the walls are closing in on Conor. Not saying he's not a good fighter, but every fight every way you turn it, the fights that he could be in are dangerous. If he fights Pacquiao in boxing, dangerous. If he fights Nate Diaz trilogy, dangerous. Tony Ferguson, dangerous. Khabib Nurmagomedov, dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So he already got rid of like the Eddie Alvarez's of the world. So it's like, no matter who he go, I mean, even Max Holloway, I don't know what weight they would fight at, but the way Max Holloway's been looking, that rematch would be dangerous. So it's like killers all around him. And I hope, this is just my hope, I like Conor, but hope him not making all that money in boxing, taking some time off. Hope that hasn't killed his fighter spirit, because we seen Ronda Rousey when she started being in Hollywood movies and shit, then she was food, because you're in Fast and Furious 7 and Entourage movies and shit like that. Nobody else is doing that. They just fighting to whip your ass. You know what I mean? So hopefully Conor, he says he wants to be a fighter and it's in his blood, and I don't think he has the temperament of Ronda Rousey, but I'm just saying, hopefully that making all that money hasn't lessened his desire, because that wouldn't be good, because these other guys, this is all they have fighting. They're not in Call of Duty games and movies and making $100 million for Floyd fights. Yo, we got to get the likes up. I'm gonna keep this stream short. It's late, so I think a lot of people are sleeping, and the engagement is unusually low for one of my streams. So I'm gonna keep this short. What else is there to talk about? Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. It looks like they agreed. In case you missed my earlier stream, that's a good fight in the boxing world. next UFC fight that I'm really checking for, and it just makes me sad that it's on the same night as Errol Spence versus Lamont Peterson, Robert Easter Jr. on January 20th, and that's Stipe Miocic versus Ngannou. Because I might go to the Spence Peterson fight, but that Stipe fight, I'm really mad. I'm really checking for that. That's gonna be a good night for fight fans. That Stipe shit, somebody getting stretched. Ngannou's hitting too hard, and Stipe's had boxing experience. He's like Golden Gloves, Silver Gloves, or something, and he knocked out Alistair Overeem. You know, I seen them next to each other, and I was surprised that Ngannou looks fucking huge next to Stipe, man. Like he looked noticeably bigger when they did the press conference the other day. Yeah, I heard Stipe called out Joshua. That's just not happening. But yeah, this Ngannou fool, he's big, because they did the press conference, and he looked noticeably like just massier. He looked like Stipe can box, yeah, but that don't matter. I mean, it matters, but most of these UFC fighters, they ain't boxing like Floyd. So if your defense isn't that sharp and somebody has the amount of power that Francis has, then you could be fooled. Stipe boxes well for an MMA fighter, but I mean, Francis Ngannou is showing you the one punch can definitely change the course of events when you fucking fight him. Because real talk, I mean, I don't like doing triangle theories, but Stipe versus Alistair Overeem, that was a good win for him. But Alistair Overeem hurt Stipe in that fight. He didn't do shit with Ngannou. You know what I mean? Ngannou just hit him with that Shoryuken, that uppercut from hell. You know what I mean? Whereas the Alistair Overeem and Stipe, Alistair actually, if you watch that fight again, Alistair Overeem hurt Stipe before the stoppage. Before Stipe stopped Alistair Overeem. And again, it's not just about comparing fights and triangle theories, but I'm just saying that Ngannou dude is not, he got momentum. He's not really fucking around. And that left uppercut, I think he shoots the left uppercut. Good luck. Good luck surviving that. Yeah, and he's, like I said, I seen him next to each other. He's big, so Stipe is gonna have to be on his shit. DC's fighting on that same card, yeah. I mean, Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's definitely earned a title shot. Like I said, Michael Johnson, game guys like that, and then Barboza to take someone like him, good striker, and none of that mattered. Ngannou has record-breaking power in his right hand. Yeah, man. And you know what? To me, this might not matter to some of you guys, but this is how I look at boxing and fighting and stuff. Look at the stakes. To me, Ngannou, he has way less to lose than Stipe, and I'll explain why. Stipe is a heavyweight champion, and they said he can break this record of title defenses or whatever, and he's a champion. So, as a champion, you have to hold down your home front. You know what I'm saying? Ngannou, let's say he loses to Stipe, you lost to a champion, and you don't have the resume. You don't have the resume to compete with Stipe. You know what I'm saying? Listen, shout everybody, put your L's up for Marquise Abraham. Y'all are corny. He said MMA ego. That's corny. I'll talk about whatever. I'm getting this money. I'll talk about whatever I want. There's no boxing. So, I mean, just deal with it. But putting that MMA ego, okay, I'm MMA ego. Next, blocked. Like, it's just corny. You know what I'm saying? And people could think they come to the streams and just, I guess, call themselves like taunting me. What? Okay, MMA ego. As long as we making this money, then it's all good. You know what I mean? We working. I don't know. UFC to me had an off year this year. Their year wasn't that good. Their last year, 2016, was better for them. And it's weird because certain fights didn't live up to it. Like Amanda Nunes' last fight didn't live up to it. the fight with John Jones and Cormier, the rematch, that was a good ass fight. But then it was all kind of reversed when everyone found out that John Jones got flagged by USADA. So it's like, I mean, can we say that was the best fight? I thought Cormier Rumble Johnson rematch sucked. I thought Rumble Johnson had a weird game plan. So I don't know. Conor McGregor got knocked out in boxing. He didn't fight in the cage, so I don't know. And Dana White talking about getting into boxing next year, so who knows what UFC will be. Who threw the fight? Y'all sound stupid, man. It's always about some conspiracy theory about someone threw a fight and fixed fight. Like, listen, like, how do you know? You live at home with your parents, work at Kmart. How do you know all these like inner workings of the UFC world on who's throwing fights and who got paid off? Like, really, honestly, I never understood that. People always say this stuff like, who said it? What are you talking about? Who said it? Who said they threw the fight? Anyway, I'm done. This dude's talking all these cryptic. He said, she said. What she said is what he said. Like, talking like Dr. Seuss. Anthony Johnson said he threw the fight. That's retarded. Why would he throw the fight? Anyway, I'm done. So he threw both of the fights. Because he lost both of them to Cormier. Listen, Chris Cyborg did her thing, and like I said, to me, what was impressive is that Chris Cyborg, she showed different wrinkles in her game, because like when you think of Chris Cyborg, you think of this like buff Bagwell ass, vicious ass female and knockout artist. Did a full camp, blood, sweat, and tears to throw a fight. That's what I'm saying. This dude sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Oh, he threw the fight. Look it up. You look it up. But anyway, Chris Cyborg, from her, if you think about what people perceive her as in terms of a fighter, they think of like power, super aggressive, and willing to take a couple shots to get her shots off, and she's gonna corner you and bully you, ragdoll you. So to go in with a world-class boxer like Holm and really win the stand-up battle of attrition, it's pretty impressive, because that shows the level of composure that most of us, given the competition, she never really fought anyone as good as Holm. I mean, Gina Carano or something. She never really fought anyone quite as good as Holm and as versatile with the stand-up to rival her striking. And to see her go in there and win the stand-up game and show composure, pretty impressive to me. Holm was doing the same combination. See, listen, what I think is, I think Holly Holm was trying to, like, I had no problem with her moving and doing the pot shot. She did that with Ronda Rousey. And I think she was working the clinch. She was very strong in the clinch. And I think she was thinking that would discourage and wear down, those three things would discourage and wear down Chris Cyborg. But in rounds 3, 4, 5, Chris Cyborg still kept coming and kept pressuring her. So all that shit, you have to kind of go to a different game plan because you're losing the rounds. You can't win. You're not going to necessarily win evading, you know what I mean, by like using foot speed to get away from your target and then missing your shots, you know what I mean? So she needed more, her accuracy needed to be better, because you can win a fight going away or like retreating or whatever, but you're gonna have to land something significant. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to, when you do pot shot and stuff, you're gonna have to make it count. Have some like jaw-dropping, sweat flying shots, like bop, and their heads rocking back and stuff like that. But she just, like Holly Holm, it didn't work. You weren't discouraging Chris Cyborg enough, so she needed to kind of kick it, which would have been risky, but she needed to kick it up into a different gear, because it was evident very early on to me that this was no Ronda Rousey in terms of the stand-up game. This is someone who has enough power to rattle you, and is looks like they both could take a shot. Looks like they both could take a shot. But she's durable, keeps coming forward, keeps pressuring you. You're just not winning. To me, I just didn't see Holly Holm doing enough to win the round. Now, don't get me wrong, she showed heart. I was born in New Mexico. Holly Holm's from New Mexico, so that's how trill I am. None of that stuff matters. I'm not like, I like Holly Holm. You know what I mean? I like what she represents. She's a legend in the game. She's done a lot. But I'm not gonna make shit up and then say, oh, I seen her beating Cyborg's ass if I didn't see that. I literally gave Holly Holm maybe one round, and that was round 2 or so. Yeah, I mean, she's a true champ. Like, nobody else wants to fight this fucking Chris Cyborg. So the fact that she moved up in weight and then was willing to do it and then took her 5, nobody, to my knowledge, has been 5 rounds with Chris Cyborg. So, I mean, I give her props, but I can't lie here and say, oh, yeah, she was whooping Cyborg's ass and winning. I didn't see all that. I thought she was doing enough to take some stands, but not enough to win the rounds convincingly. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just what it is. Like, at the end of round 5, Holly Holm started catching Chris Cyborg with some crispy shots. And Cyborg maybe got buzzed a little bit because she caught some consecutive shots. And Holly Holm kept doing them war cries. Ah, ah, ah. You know, all these fighters, be Victor Ortiz and Amir Khan, eesh, 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 eesh. She was doing her own key release war cries or whatever. And she caught her. She caught her with some Chris Cyborg towards the last minute or so with some good shots in round 5. However, I can't give her the round. It's a 5-minute round, and the totality of it, I think Chris Cyborg landing them type of shots, hard shots, where it looked like she was being more aggressive and getting to Holly Holm, who started to wilt a bit for more minutes of the round. So how can I, for one stand in one stanza in round 5, how can I give that to Holly Holm? It doesn't make sense to me. And then, like, I don't remember, it's either round 3 or 4, I want to say, but at the end, last 15 seconds, Chris Cyborg started clipping Holly Holm, and she looked like she got buzzed and got hurt. You know what I mean? It was at the very end of the round. So that plus round 5, I couldn't find rounds to give Holly Holm like that. Maybe round 2. And if you look at the actual stats, Chris Cyborg outlanded her in every single round. Outlanded her. So she's the aggressor. She put in on pressure. Her defense was surprisingly good. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Chris Cyborg, Holly Holm was Holly Holm. That looks like the same Holly Holm that fought Ronda Rousey. Chris Cyborg is the one that actually impressed me, because I thought Chris Cyborg was more of a uncontrolled quantity. You know what I'm saying? Like, just super aggressive and just try to walk you down no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But that she was patient, she was composed, and she was getting off her shots. And somebody said, I think the commentator said, oh, it looks like Cyborg's getting frustrated. I didn't really see her looking like too frustrated. She just looked like patient. Like, and of course, you're not gonna. This is not Lena Landsberg or Gina Carano, someone who's like significantly not as strong as you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect Holly Holm or end up like Ronda Rousey. It's very simple. So I think Chris Cyborg knew that. She probably felt the strength of Holly Holm in the clinch, the strength of Holly Holm's kicks. Like, because even if you don't get hit with it, you can feel the wind from the kicks and the wind from, you know what I mean, the punches that graze by you. So, you know what I mean? Chris Cyborg, if you want to nitpick, you could say Chris Cyborg maybe should have been more aggressive in rounds 3, 4, and 5. But she was clearly winning the fight, so that's a decision and a risk that's kind of unnecessary. To me, I always point to the person losing the rounds as the person who needs to make the most changes. Why can we ask the person winning the fight to do all this risk and unnecessary risk at that, but then the person losing the fight, they don't have to? So then that plays into the person who's losing the fight's hands if you doing all the risk and they're not. Like I said, look at post-fight. Her face, she had a bloody nose in fight. Her face looked normal. And Holly Holm shit started swelling up. Hey, you guys. Yeah, and she looked like she lost just from this picture before this announcement was read. You know what I mean? The swelling, she bumped up in there. Her eye started, her left eye, I think it was swelling shut. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you can, you know, picture says 1,000 words. Look at this shit. She was just getting hit with the harder shit. Look. She said, hey, you guys be mean to me. Look. I mean, who's getting hit with the harder shots? Find a bunch of pictures where Chris Cyborg looks like that. Look at her. That don't even look like Holly Holm. That look like Gary Busey or something. Look at that. You know when you put like a vacuum or some shit in your mouth, or like something that blows air, and you're like, I don't know. Look. So I just thought Cyborg controlled the shit. And then they went to, look. So that's my opinion on the fight. Everybody wants, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't even like talking boxing or fighting with some of y'all, because y'all do too much. It's like, oh, but USADA, and she has a dick, and she's a man. Like, let's talk about the fight. Like, you know what I mean? Ha, we already heard all them jokes, man. Like, I just want to talk about the fight. And y'all be doing, like, little preschool games and stuff. Holly Holm started getting touched. And she's the boxer. So, to me, I was impressed with Chris Cyborg. That's how it went down. Ego, who's your fighter of the year? Boxing or MMA? Boxing, Terrence Crawford or Andre Ward. I mean, I can't really count Andre Ward because he retired, I guess. But if not, I would say Terrence Crawford. MMA, I don't know. Maybe Max Holloway. I think he had a good year. He beat the fuck out of Jose Aldo in a rematch. Stopped him in the 3rd round, I think. He had a good year. Personal favorite, I like what Ngannou did. I think he had like one of the knockouts of the year. Are you rolling? No, but you're blocked. Blocked. People always come in here trying to change the narrative of the chat. I don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing about anything that I've done in this live. I'm drinking water. Nothing about anything in this live stream is about drugs or is wild and crazy, or, you know what I'm saying? This is a very mellow stream. Yeah, I think McGregor will come back to UFC. I mean, what's he gonna do? Not either not fight, but I don't see him come back to boxing. Who you gonna fight? Jermell Charlo? Good luck. Max Holloway didn't get stopped by Conor, so the way the way his momentum is set up, that would be a good rematch. Yeah, he can fight Paul, but see, listen, Conor McGregor has a boss. I don't think Dana White's trying to make these boxing fights like that. I think he wants Conor to come back into his natural element. Yeah, we talked about Khabib, very impressive, very much controlled. He took a striker and reduced him to what you've seen tonight. Joseph Parker beats Joshua. Let's see it. I gotta see that. Because based on his last couple of performances, I gotta favor Joshua. Nunez says she wanted that Cyborg work. And that's coming from Chris Cyborg's mouth. So, I don't know. Obviously, she heard something that you haven't. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here. I just wanted to make a short live stream. I've been streaming all day. I'm about to enjoy the rest of my day. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I'm just going to chill out. Probably watch some Netflix or something. Shower. Nunes seems hesitant. Yeah, well, Chris Cyborg says she wanted that work, so I don't know. Because I specifically seen it. She said it would hurt fans, Brazilian fans' heart, because we're both from Brazil, but whatever, we could fight. Yeah, I gotta watch that Dave Chappelle on Netflix. I went to it was a Nas and Lauryn Hill concert, and then Dave Chappelle opened up with comedy for him. And this was like a couple months ago. And Dave Chappelle was funny on that, so I wanted to watch that. Yeah, man, keep it plugged in. Ego Army, salute. I appreciate it. I'm about to get out of here. Just chill. Peace out, y'all.